Wabak COVID-19.
The coronavirus,
COVID-19.
COVID-19.
COVID-19 has caused the world's worst recession since the Great Depression in 1930s. Around the world, the economies are crumbling.
Oil below $50 a barrel. U.S. demand in China has dropped off substantially.
You're impacting the demand for copper, iron ore, even gold is going down.
Earlier this year, the government has announced the Movement Control Order.
Untuk melaksanakan Perintah Kawalan
And
Pergerakan.
this is where it all begins.
The overview of the news discussing about recent pandemic has caused the broadest collapse of the global economy, projected to be the worst recession in 8 years. Economic loss related to COVID-19 goes beyond previous cases like stock market crashes, currency crisis and sovereign default. The news highlighted that in recent years, Malaysia's property has been resistant in terms of price, and in the last 3 decades, house prices in the country only suffered a decline between 1988 and 1999, which was due to the lingering effect of 1997 Asian financial crisis. The former country's partial lockdown, known locally as the Movement Control Order (MCO), has contributed to a decrease in number of home seekers and has also delayed in property listings. iProperty, a Malaysia-based property and real estate website, released a report on the effects of the COVID-19 outbreak on the Malaysia's property landscape. iProperty noted that the recession phase, which started in 2015, was supposedly due to end in 2019, with the property market entering its recovering phase in 2020 based on the 18 years principle. Nevertheless, with the current coronavirus crisis and economic uncertainties, the following phase of recovery will perhaps only start in 2021, assuming that this phase will last for another 7 years. The next explosive phase will likely to begin in 2028. Therefore, in this situation, the concept of demand and supply is very crucial. Supply represents on how much the market can offer, and demand refers to how much in quantity of a product or services is desired by buyer. Real estate is a tangible asset made up of the property and the land on which it sits. The prices of homes like stocks and bonds depends heavily on the law of supply and demand. When the demand for housing is high but supply is low, home prices often rise and vice versa. When there is a surplus of housing available in market, homeowners may lower their prices due to the less demand in the market. Housing affordability is a function of price and income. Income drives demand and price depends on the interaction of both demand and supply. Factors that affect the demands include demographic factors, which includes growth in population and the number of households, level and distribution of income, the availability and cost of financing, government policy, which includes taxation and property rights, and also personal preference. The supply, on the other hand, is affected by factors such as land cost government policy, which includes land use and planning policy, the availability of cost of financing and the construction cost. For example, cost of materials, machinery, equipment, and labor. Changes in the factors affecting demand can shift the demand curve. When talking about demand and supply in property market, government intervention plays a big role in transforming the market itself. Interventions to improve housing affordability have primarily focused on the demand side, either by direct provision of low-cost houses, subsidizing housing costs, or by making housing financing cheaper. Government intervention mostly focus on leveraging the demand, either by allowing to borrow more or subsidizing the houses home buyers. On the supply side, government focus on direct provision of affordable homes, either through public agency or through partnership with private developers. RIMA and affordable home scheme ranging from below 100,000 to 400,000. There is a rising issue on how Malaysians cannot even afford to purchase a house in Malaysia. Hence, Housing Minister Zuraida Kamarudin encouraged developers to develop affordable houses priced at 500,000 and below to allow Malaysia to purchase their own house. However, the Valuation and Property Services Department (JPPH) revealed that affordable homes priced between 200,000 and 300,000 made up 43% of the property overhang in the country in the first half of 2019. Overhang means that the property is brand new but unsold after 9 months, and Johor, Selangor, Perak, and Pening with the highest amount of overhang houses. This indicates that the excess supply of affordable homes has not yet solved the problem of B40 and M40 group, as they still cannot afford to buy a home. The rising cost of living and the unequal distribution of income, it appears that more affordable housing may not be the solution.
The government's effort to create an affordable houses has helped in so many ways, but the news stated that property market is on slump post-COVID-19 situation. How does this problem happen on the first place? Unaffordability. According to the United Nations, a house is considered affordable when it is 3 times the annual income of a household. Let's say your household earn 100,000 ringgit per year, an affordable house for you will cost 300,000 ringgit. However, according to Bank Negara Malaysia, Malaysia's maximum affordable house price is at 282,000 based on the household median income. However, the average price of new properties launched is at RM470,262. This shows the unaffordability of Malaysians to purchase a house based on the median national income and the price of the house in the market. This issue is worsened due to the recent COVID-19 issue, which has caused an economic fallout. The movement control order has caused so many people losing their job.
The coronavirus crisis has taken a massive hit to employment and incomes, and sellers in overinflated markets are facing a brutal reality check.
Department of Statistics Malaysia has conducted a survey on the first round of MCO, where more than 160,000 respondents participated in the survey. 9 out of 10 respondents were working with lower than usual salaries. 52.6% of the respondents are affected financially, with 2/3 of self-employed respondents only have less than 1 month worth of savings. The unemployment rate is at 5% in April, which is the worst in 30 years and expected to continue at 5 to 7% for the rest of the year. People have no choice but to use their saving to survive. According to AKPK, Agensi Kaunseling dan Pengurusan Kredit, 36% of its respondents can afford to save RM1,000 as an emergency funds. This especially affects those who earn less than RM2,000, the divorcees, the self-employed, and those who age between 30 to 39 years old. Therefore, they can afford to set up a fund to pay their house loan. The MCO has caused decrease in number of home seekers and delayed property listing. Other than that, processes like completing documentation and progress payments have to be halted as financial institutions scaled down operations during the MCO. Lastly, developers and builders are unlikely to meet their completion deadlines as supply chains have been interrupted. After the worldwide pandemic situation, most people are suffering due to loss of jobs and no sufficient fund to survive. However, we still need to recover the property market. Therefore, for every problem, there will be a few solutions that need to be suggested. Recently, government has reintroduced the home ownership campaign, which is called Penjana, to revitalize the property market and to provide financial relief to home buyers. This time around, the Prime Minister has announced that they will provide stamp duty exemption on the instruments of transfer and loan agreement for the purchase of residential homes priced between RM300,000 and RM2.5 million. Another main issue should be addressed, which is the minimum wage. Currently, the minimum wage in Malaysia is RM1,200. Therefore, a lot of Malaysians cannot even afford to purchase their own house, as the research done by Khazanah Research Institute states that individuals who earn less than RM2,500 spend on average 95% of their salary. Therefore, the government should gradually increase the minimum wage to an optimal level to cover the increasing cost of living. Economy downfall is inevitable. We have to take immediate actions to avoid history from repeating itself. The news stated that the property market is on slump post-COVID-19 due to a few reasons. A downfall in property market may caused by other factors such as increase in number of sellers and sellers' high price expectation. However, based on this analysis, we believe that unaffordability is among the causes for the downfall of the property market after the pandemic situation. The situation worsened after the COVID-19 or the MCO period, where people don't think that purchasing a house is their main priority or whether they have sufficient funds to purchase a house. However, we see the light at the end of the tunnel when it is predicted that post-COVID-19 is the best time to purchase a house, as the price will go down, and at the same time, there is incentive by the government. Government has done a good job by introducing so many initiatives or providing incentives to help the B40 and the M40, the group who are mostly affected by this issue. It is undeniable that we cannot theoretically predict when the economy will bloom again, but all parties, including the consumer, the supplier, and the government, must take action in reviving the property market. That's all from us. Thank you for listening.